Hi everyone, welcome back to the Virtual Pub Quiz channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jay and I'm the host of the live virtual quiz on a Thursday night, and by the time that this video goes out on Wednesday morning, hopefully you'll have seen the announcement on the Facebook page. Yep, it's going to be twice a week. So we're going Thursdays with the big quiz, and then as you probably saw on the announcement video, so on Saturday night we'll be going live from 8 o'clock. And yes, Saturdays are going to be a lot of fun. This Saturday we're focusing on the NHS charity that we've been working with, JustGiving page, and all the links are down below. But we're going to have some key workers from the NHS frontline asking some questions, which is absolutely superb. And we've got a few celebrities as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun on Saturday night. I'm looking forward to it. So hopefully you can join us for that. But more importantly, you're here because it's another specialist quiz day. So today it's back to the 80s. Now I did think about getting some fluorescent gear on and doing that, but I realised I don't own any fluorescent gear. So I decided we'll just go with it as normal. So 10 questions for your specialist round as always. Let's get into it then. That's what you're here for. So let's get into your questions. Let's start with question number 1. So who got married on July 30th, 1981? So who got married on July 30th, 1981? Question 2. Who was the UK Prime Minister for the length of the 80s? So who was the UK Prime Minister for the length of the 80s? Question number 3. So what was the name of the frustrating toy consisting of coloured blocks that had to be rotated back into their like for like coloured position, which took the UK by storm in 1980? So what was the name of the frustrating toy consisting of coloured blocks that had to be rotated back into their coloured position that took the UK by storm in 1980? Question 4. Which TV channel launched on the 2nd of November 1982? So which TV channel launched on the 2nd of November 1982? Very good year, that. Question 5. 1982 also saw the launch of which high street book chain? So also in 1982, what high street book chain was launched? Question 6. Question 6. Which music production trio were responsible for Dead Alive's You Spin Me Round, Bananarama Venus, Especially for You by Kylie and Jason, among many other hits in the 80s? So which music production trio were responsible for Dead or Alive's You Spin Me Round, Bananarama Venus, and Especially for You by Kylie and Jason, among many other hits in the 80s for this trio? Question 7. Who are you going to call? Not Craig David, but who did Ray Parker Jr. want us to call in the 80s? So who are you going to call? Who did Ray Parker Jr. want us to call in the 80s? Question 8. Who pulled off arguably, and I say arguably, the greatest FA Cup final upset in 1988, beating Liverpool? So who pulled off arguably the greatest FA Cup final upset by beating Liverpool? Question 9. Made famous in the 1980 film Fame, what was the name of the lower leg covering item of clothing often seen in bright colours? So made famous in the 1980 film Fame, what was the name of the lower leg covering item of clothing often seen in bright colours? And finally then, question 10. What was the population of the UK at the end of the 80s? Was it 47 million, 57 million, or 67 million? So what was the population of the UK at the end of the 80s? 47 million, 57 million, or 67 million? And that's your 10 questions. So if you want to have a look at your whatever you're using to write them down, and you know what's coming. Let's pause the video now. And we're back. So hopefully you've gone through your answers and you've got everything ready. Let's give you the answers then to your 10 questions. Starting with number 1, who got married on the July the 30th, 1981? It was Prince Charles and Diana. Question 2, who was the UK Prime Minister for the length of the 80s? It was Margaret Thatcher. Question 3, what was the name of the frustrating toy consisting of coloured blocks that had to be rotated back into their coloured position that took the UK by storm? It was a Rubik's Cube. Question 4, which TV channel launched on the 2nd of November 1982? It was Channel 4. Question 5, 1982 also saw the launch of which high street book chain? It was Waterstones. Question 6, which music production trio were responsible for Dead or Alive's You Spin Me Around, Bananarama's Venus, and Especially For You by Kylie and Jason, among many other hits that they had in the 80s? It was the trio of Stock, Aitken and Waterman. 7, who are you going to call? Ray Parker Jr. wanted us to call who? It was the Ghostbusters. Question 8, who pulled off arguably the greatest FA Cup final upset, beating Liverpool? It was Wimbledon and the Crazy Gang. I remember being on my granddad's shoulders when they brought that trophy back outside Wimbledon Town Hall, because that's where I'm originally from. And the reason I say arguably is because I know Wigan beat Man City in what was probably another one of the big shocks. So that's why I said arguably. Question 9, made famous in the 1980 film Fame, what was the name of the lower leg covering item of clothing often seen in bright colours? They are leg warmers. And then finally, question 10, what was the population of the UK at the end of the 80s? Was it 47 million, 57 million, or 67 million? The answer is 57 million. So if you want to tot up your scores, let us know how you got on. All the social links, as usual, are down below. If you are new to us, please subscribe. It does help a great deal. I'm indebted to everyone. We've crossed through the 100,000 subscribers in the last few days, which is absolutely incredible. So thank you very much, everyone, for your continued support. If you're not following us on Facebook, jump over there as well. On there, we give you all the details of all of the upcoming quizzes and everything that's going on. So this is Wednesday. So tomorrow, Thursday, there's no specialist quiz because live again as usual tomorrow night. Thursday night we go live every night, and as I said at the beginning of the video, the announcements should have gone out by now. We'll be live again on Saturday, so you get 2 live quizzes a week now. Thank you very much for your continued support as usual. Hope you've enjoyed this one. We've got Back to the 70s on Friday and lots more to come over the week. So thank you very much, and I will see you all soon. Stay safe.